Namaste. I'm going to Delhi's Lotus Sutra class, so I cannot do the live. So I've tried to record here. Let's get started. हम ईमानदारी से महामंदारा गोहनसों के सभी आदरणीय लोगों के लिए सद्धर्म पुंडरी का सूत्र शाश्वत बुद्धा शाक्य मुनि प्लबुत लग्न बुद्धा और सभी अतीत वर्तमान और भविष्य के बुद्धों के लिए 10 दिशाओं में समर्पित करते हैं। हम आगे खुद को पृथ्वी के 4 महान बोधिसत्व के लिए समर्पित करते हैं, जैसे विशिष्ट कारित्र बोधिसत्व, अनंत कारित्र बोधिसत्व, विशुद्ध कारित्र बोधिसत्व, सुप्रतिष्ठ कारित्र बोधिसत्व। बोधिसत्व के सभी बोधिसत्व मंजूश्री समंतभद्र मैत्रेय अवरोक्तेश्वर शाक्य मुनि के महान शिष्य बुद्ध शारिपुत्र मुक्तारण काश्यप आनंद महाश्रावक और धर्म के सभी सुरक्षात्मक देवताओं के लिए हम आगे अपने मूल बुद्ध द्वारा भेजे गए महान बोधिसत्व निचिरेन शोनि के लिए खुद को समर्पित करते हैं। हम आगे अपने आप को उनके शिष्य रेंगे आचार्य निचिजी शोनि पहले विदेशी मिशनरी के लिए समर्पित करते हैं। सभी जीवों को वह पुण्य प्राप्त हो जो हमने सूत्र के पास से संचित किया है। हम आप सभी को यह हार्दिक भक्ति प्रदान करते हैं। आप हमारे प्रति अपनी करुणा से इस पवित्र स्थान पर आए, हमें अपनी बुद्धि के प्रकाश से देखें और इस सूत्र का पाठ करने और नाम म्यो बोरेंगे क्यों का जाप करने की हमारी पेशकश को स्वीकार करें। विजो जिन जिन मिम्योदो हो अह्यकु सेन्मांगो निमो आइताते माचुरु कोतो काताशी वारे इमा केन्मon shichuji suru koto o etari negawaku wa nyorai no dai ichi gi o gesen shigoku no dai jo shigi sube karazu kenbon sokuchi minabo dai ni chikazuku no sen ga hoshi shosen ga hoshi shiki so no monji wa sunawachi kore o jin nari 無料の功徳皆この経に集まれりこのゆえに自在に妙に訓示密に訳すうちむち罪を滅し前後生ずもしは真もしは法共に仏道上善三世の諸仏人人の病伝なり諸上世世ちぐし頂大戦 Verse for opening the sutra. The most profound and wonderful teaching is presented in this sutra. This sutra is difficult to meet even once in thousands and millions of years. Now we have been able to see, hear, receive, and keep this sutra. May we understand the most excellent teaching of the Tathagata. The most excellent teaching of the great Bhikkhu is very difficult for us to understand. We should be able to approach enlightenment when we see, hear, or touch this sutra. Expounding is the Buddha's wisdom. Expounded is the Buddha's truth. The letters composing this sutra are the Buddha's manifestation. Just as perfume is caught by something put nearby, so shall we be richly benefited by this sutra, even when we are not aware of being so benefited, because infinite merits are accumulated in this sutra. We can expiate our past transgression, do good deeds, and attain Buddhahood by the merit of this sutra. It doesn't matter whether we are wise or not, or whether we believe the sutra or surrender it. This sutra is the most wonderful and the most excellent taught by the Buddhas of the past, present, and future. May we meet and receive it, birth after birth, word after word. Establish the place of prayer. Nam myo ho renge kyo. Nam myo ho renge kyo. Nam-myoho-renge-kyo. Here and now we have just chanting Nam-myoho-renge-kyo. At this moment, this place has become the place of prayer to Odaimoku and the place of prayer for our heart during lifetime. At this very place of prayer to Odaimoku, all Buddha have attained enlightenment. This is also the place where the Buddha have expounded their teaching. This world in which we live, believing in and chanting Odaimoku, is a place where the Buddha live in peace. Adoration of Gohonzon. In the mandala Gohonzon, the object of a worship is shown the origin of how the mandala was written. One day in the 12th month of 1274, 11th year of Bunnei, I, Nichiren, wrote the Gohonzon in the village of Haki, province of Kai, the present-day Minobu-san, Yamanashi Prefecture, Nichiren. It was the time when over 2,220 years had passed since Shakyamuni Buddha passed away. Nevertheless, in the three countries of India, China, and Japan, namely in the world, there had never existed a Gohonzon like this. This is probably because none of our past masters attempt to spread the Gohonzon among the society even though they are aware of its existence. Or it may be that nobody knew about it. Shakyamuni Buddha, after careful consideration, determined that he should conceal the Gohonzon until the arrival of an opportune moment to reveal it, revealing it to the people in the period of Mappo. In fact, the Buddha preached in the Lotus Sutra that his messenger Jogyo Bosatsu should spread the Buddha's teaching in the first 500 years of Mappo. As predicted by the Buddha, Nichiren Daishonin approached in this world to reveal the Gohonzon and expounded the teaching of the Odaimoku. Seigon, the words of oath before reciting the Lotus Sutra. To carry out the way of the Buddha as the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha has been expounding his teaching without rest from the beginning to this day, not only in our world, but also in immutable world. Among his teaching, the Lotus Sutra is the most important. If you devote yourself complete to the faith in the Lotus Sutra, you will surely become a person who truly practices the way of the Buddha. All of you, even after my death, should continue having faith in the Lotus Sutra and reciting it. Make this all before me now. Nam-myoho-renge-kyo. Chapter 2, Experience. After carefully considering how he can expound here clearly the substance of his enlightenment, Shakyamuni Buddha calmly opened his eyes and began talking to Sariputta, who has known to be the Buddha's wisest disciple. The wisdom of the Buddha, not to mention my own wisdom, is so deep and wide that it is far beyond your imagination. Since you want to understand Buddha's enlightenment, if it is expounded as it is, I first try to reveal my mind by using Hoben or expedient wisdom, following your heart. However, since you could not even understand the purpose behind Hoben, you are far from being able to enter the world of the truth. Shiravakas, who understand impermanency just by listening to the Buddha's teaching, and Engak Pratika Buddha, who seeks enlightenment just by sensing impermanency through experience, are the people who are practicing individually to reach the state of enlightenment. Hence, they cannot understand the interaction between expedient and the truth. This is because the Buddha, unlike you, has trained himself under countless Buddha, carried out countless practice taught by them, and accomplished the goal of severe practice in order to attain enlightenment. His reputation is widespread. The Buddha's enlightenment is unprecedentedly deep and has been preached and expounded skillfully. However, it seems to be too difficult for you to understand the true meaning. Sariputta, ever since I became a Buddha, I have been expounding my teaching broadly, using examples and parables. I use every kind of Hoben, expedient wisdom, in order to lead people and so save them from attachment. The reason that was possible is because the Buddha is perfectly equipped with an understanding of both form and the truth. Shariputra, the Buddha's wisdom is wide and deep. That is to say, the Buddha holds our immutable minds, known as Jihiksha, love, compassion, happiness, and disinterference. And when the expounded his teaching, he is brutally and flexible, equipped with 10 kinds of supreme wisdom, and teaches as he bear without reserve. At that time, his mind is unshakable. At that time, his wiped off hesitation completely, distances from any suffering and focusing on goodness so that he can ascertain the truth. In other words, the Buddha has all the wisdom to teach and lead all people. Shariputra, the Buddha adapts his teaching in accordance with time and place. Conjuring of teaching must fit for each person he teaches. His way of teaching is very flexible, bringing those whom he teaches to certainly enjoy. Shariputra, all told, the Buddha has attained the Buddhagma, immutable, excellent, which none has achieved up to now. I will stop expounding my teaching to you. Listen carefully, Shariputra. I probably should not expound my teaching to you, since you cannot understand the true purpose of the Buddha's teaching. The reason being, my word of enlightenment is unprecedented and is the most superior. It is a word you will never be able to reach. Only the Buddha attains the reality of all things in their fullest extent. This true state of all things must be viewed from the following 10 kind of perspective. So is the outside appearance. Sho is the nature hidden inside. Tai is the combination of the two. These three factors are the fundamental of resistance. Riki is the inner power. Sa is the outside effect. In is the indirect cause. En is the indirect cause. Ha is the result. Po is a new interrelationship with the surrounding suitable to its effect. The factor of form, which encompasses So, Sho, and Tai, and Matsu, which encompasses the rest, are the factors existing in all things and always complement one another. This is To, or equalities. 16th chapter, the duration of the life of the Tathagata. I, Shariputra, am originally a Hotter Buddha. I am always expounding the teaching of the Buddha to lead you into the way of the Buddha. Many hundreds of thousands of years have passed since I began expounding my teaching. In order to help save you, I have even hidden myself tentatively from this world, but I am always present in this subtle world. I always live here expounding the Dharma. To tell the truth, I am always here, but for those who don't realize that, I am intentionally hiding myself from your sight. When you notice my absence, you appreciate the Buddha for the first time, perseveres for his remains, and can soon, if every one of you begin to seek the Buddha seriously from the heart. Once you have trusted the Buddha in all seriousness, you will hostily being to want to meet him and seek the way of the Buddha as the cause of your life. When you enter that state of mind, you realize the Buddha is present in this world along with his disciples. You will then begin to understand the reason why the Buddha is saying, I'm always here, only I choose to hide and appear on purpose in order to save you all. In fact, if there is anyone who seeks me, not just on earth, but anyone in space, there I am able to expound my teachings. You might think there is no Buddha simply because you don't care to read an ear to the Buddha's teaching. When I look at your way of life, I can tell very well how hard you are struggling with various suffering, unable to find a way to escape from them. I hide myself from you both to help you. Realize you can never escape from the suffering of the world by yourself and become convinced that you should seek the Buddha and his teaching. When this feeling alights you, you will understand that the Buddha is actually expounding his teaching at all times. This is known as the Buddha's supernatural power. In other words, the Buddha is in anywhere at any time. Even when you suspect that the world has come to its end, that it will burn to destruction in a great fire, my mental state always remains peaceful, and my surroundings are full of people with the same mental state. It is like, for example, a beautiful flower, golden and brushes. There stand a building like a castle. Around it grow trees full of beautiful flowers and fruits, and people are living happily. It is as if heavenly beings are playing music, and petals of the mandala flowers are graceful falling around us. My word of enlightenment, my word of wisdom will never be destroyed. But all of you who are at a loss believe this word is moving towards destruction, and that's why you exist in this world. All kinds of frightful and painful events with arise. The reason why you are surrounding as you are right now is because you have totally failed to reflect upon your half-hearted way of life filled with worldly desire, without paying any attention to the light religion and the light faith, and not being mindful of making any efforts. Those who continue to conduct good deeds for the world, for its people, with the right faith at heart, are released from the building of self-attachment and neither rule themselves nor others. People of this kind will understand that I am expounding my teaching here all the time. To those who seek the way of the Buddha in such state of mind, I teach them that the Buddha life is eternal. To those who do not seek the faith, I teach them to have faith in him. Thus, my wisdom works at my own will, since I have limitless wisdom and have gained an eternal life. I am capable of saving all people, and these incapable powers can be obtained thanks to my own endeavors, practicing day by day without rest. Those who make efforts to try to comprehend it, the significance of life, you must not question the truth, eternal existence of the Buddha. You must fundamentally take yourself from your current hypocritical ways of life. That way, you will understand that the teaching of the Buddha are fruitful. When the renowned physician said his wisdom, who themselves were suffering from deadly poison but would not accept any medicine given by their father by telling them, "Your father is dead," when in fact he was alive. Nobody braved him. Likewise, I am actually the father of this world, capable of saving all people from various pains and sufferings. However, you can't tell what is right and what is wrong. In order to open your eyes, I say that the Buddha is not here while in actuality I am here. But if you become aware that I am really here, you will gradually lose a sense of appreciation and being to devote arrogance. Then eventually you will return to the life full of worldly desire and ultimately fall into the three evil realms of hell, hungry spirits, and animals. I can see clear whether or not you people are following the right way. That is why I expound the teaching in many ways in order to read the appropriacy. I have only one wish. My wish is to know how I can quickly lead you to the right way of faith and make you become a Buddha as soon as possible. The practice of Odaimaku chanting. All the knowledge Shakyamuni Buddha has attained in other words, his true heart are included in the 5 letters of Myoho Renge-kyo. If we believe in and practice the teaching of the 5 letters at the cost of our life, we are ever grateful, but surely to gain the Buddha's true heart. Nam Myoho Renge-kyo. ナムミョーレンहम महामंत्रा को होंजों के पूर्ण चक्र में आदरणीय लोगों को लोटस सूत्र और उदयमुख का पाठ करने के सभी गुणों को सम्मान पूर्वक समर्पित करते हैं। महान परोपकारी शिक्षण शाक्यामुनि शाश्वत बुद्ध को लोटस सूत्र और धर्म के सभी सुरक्षात्मक देवताओं को सर्वोच्च शिक्षण के लिए भगवान शाक्यमुनि बुद्ध ने बोधि वृक्ष बुद्धाया के नीचे ज्ञान प्राप्त किए और तब से उन्होंने विभिन्न तरीकों से विभिन्न शिक्षाओं का प्रचार किया ताकि सभी जीवित लोगों को इस सांसारिक क्षेत्र से मुक्त होने में मदद मिल सके। और अंत में लोटस सूत्र का प्रचार किया जो 24 साल पहले पवित्र भूमि गीत की चौथी राजकीय भारत में सर्वोच्च शिक्षाओं का प्रचार करता था। हम सभी हमेशा बुद्ध धर्म के अनुसार जी सके, अपने बौद्ध विश्वास को गहरा कर सके और ज्ञान विकसित करने के लिए अपनी बोधिसत्व व्रतों को जारी रख सके और दूसरों को भी ऐसा करने में मदद कर सके। इस दुनिया में अधिक से अधिक लोग बुद्ध धर्म से संबंध रख और अपने जीवन में धर्म के आनंद का आनंद ले। शांति दुनिया के हर कोने में व्याप्त हो सकती है और सभी शांति और खुशी का आनंद ले सकते हैं। दुनिया सभी जीवित प्राणियों में फैल सकता है ताकि हम और सभी जीवित प्राणी एक साथ ज्ञान प्राप्त कर सके। दुनिया शांतिपूर्ण हो और सद्भाव में रह सके और सभी जीवन प्राणी सभी कष्टों से मुक्त हो सके। सभी संवेदनशील प्राणी स्वस्थ और खुश रहे। नामो रेंगे क्यो सिजोम हेन से गंदो बोनो मिशिर से गंदा ओमो मुजिन से गंची मुचदो मुजो से गंजो। Sentient beings are measurable, about to sell them all. Our ever desires are exhaustible, about to consume all. The Buddha's teaching are measurable, about to study them all. The way of the Buddha is an excel, about to attain the path of life. Nam myo renge kyo, Nam myo renge kyo, Nam myo renge kyo. Thank you very much. Let's continue chanting for inner peace of all living beings. सभी जीवित प्राणियों की आंतरिक शांति के लिए नामयो हो रेंगे क्यों का जाप जारी रखें। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। Have a nice day. See you.